Hey, how's it going? It's been a long time. It's been a while. So I was watching a Casey Neistat video yesterday, and it kind of got my blood pumping about a few things. And one, I thought I should vlog more. So this is like a vlog video kind of thing. I'm gonna show you some photographs later in this video. We're gonna show you them via the TV because my computer. I just got my desktop yesterday, and it's quite like there's a lot of updates and stuff it has. So it's just going through all that, and I can keep finding stuff to update. And yeah, so we're just gonna go downstairs and I'll just show you them on the TV rather than show you. And I don't even have most of them on here, the pictures I want to show you. So I have to grab my laptop and put them on here. But it's just easier because I have them on my phone, and I'll just airdrop them or whatever, AirPlay them to the TV, and we'll go through them. Well, I'll show you what I'm talking about. But we're gonna be talking about how to tell stories with the photographs and how to shoot pictures with that in mind, because I know and I've seen a lot of people just shoot random photos that have no meaning, and a lot of the time from what I see is a lot of people are just kind of new photographers, noobs, and they just want to shoot everything and anything that moves or doesn't move or anything. They just want to take pictures, and they take pictures, but they're leaving the concept of story kind of behind. They just don't really have a story to put behind it. They're just going around snapping pictures, and I think that story is a very powerful and good thing to know how to do when you're taking a photo, like how to tell a story with that, with whatever you're shooting. But it can be whatever you're shooting, you can tell a story with. And yeah, that's what we're gonna be talking about. So yeah. All right. So I was gonna had this whole plan of how I was gonna do this. I was gonna screen it on TV and then show you guys the pictures, but it wasn't really working. It's kind of bright outside, and you just couldn't see all the detail and all the color. So I'm just going to place it over my face, or yeah. I'm just gonna blow it up and then you guys can see the picture, and I'll talk about it, and yeah. So this first picture is of my friend Annika. Her and I went out and took some pictures like a week ago, like 2 weeks ago, something like that. And we just kind of went out and we're just shooting pictures for fun. We talked about it for a little while, and then never really happened, never really got around to it, and we were finally able to meet up and go and shoot pictures together. And this was probably one of my favorite pictures. It was just, I just followed her behind, and I was just snapping pictures of her, and I captured this one, and I just kind of liked it because she didn't seem too focused on anything. It was just kind of, she was just walking, and with the leaves and everything changing and all that, and the green, and I really love the color of her shirt, and I think the blue also of her pants. I think her wardrobe kind of blends in very well, and it makes it kind of stand out but not like pop out, and it's kind of subtle, and I really like that. And yeah, so that's kind of the story of it, but that's kind of how you can capture an emotion, kind of, I guess. Like, it's not really an emotion, but like just that sense of like wander and like kind of lostness, I guess. But anyways, yeah, I really enjoyed this photo. The second picture is of a grad that I did last summer. It was my brother's roommate's sister. Her parents asked if I'd do her grad pictures for her, and this is probably one of my favorite ones. I converted it to black and white, just because I just thought it was a nice look to it. It just added a nice look, and her dress I think was like blue or something like that, and it was like a lighter blue, so it kind of blended into the whites very well. I honestly didn't have to do a whole lot of touching up or anything to it, but the reason I like this photo is because I like how she's looking down and kind of has her dress spread out like she's looking at her dress, and I think that kind of tells a story of her kind of going like, wow, I'm beautiful, kind of. At least that's what I kind of get from it. You guys can have your own opinions on it, but that's what I kind of get from this photo, and that's kind of why I captured it. And yeah, so that's kind of the reason I like the picture. And I like how there's kind of a mix of black and white, and it's not really dark and it's not really light. It's just kind of a nice mix. I think it's a really good photo. All right, this next picture is it's a little dark, and I didn't mean to make it that dark, but it's dark, and yeah, I can't find it, so this is it. It's not a very good picture. It's of my brother tying my shoe, because I told him to tie my shoe, and my sister's boyfriend took it while my brother was tying my shoe. And I think it just kind of tells a funny story of like, I'm kind of like, oh my god, I'm tired, and like tie my shoe. My brother's like, just fine, I'll tie your shoe. We're walking up a mountain in Banff, and this happened, and I just thought it was really funny. So kind of just tells a story of how tired I really was during that trip, and I was extremely tired and sweaty and gross. I hadn't been on a hike in a very long time, so yeah, it was just a fun time. This next picture is of my cousin's daughter, and I went and I did some family pictures for them last summer as well, and I think they found some dandelions in the grass, and she put it in her hair, and she really wanted a picture of her. Like, she was really photogenic, and she just wanted pictures of her. And I captured this picture of her, and she just has the biggest smile on her face, and she has this dandelion in her hair, and it just, I don't know, every time I look at it, it just makes me smile, because it's super cute, and it tells a story of like, wow, look at me, I'm beautiful. And to me, it kind of has a personal touch on it a little bit, but I think it kind of captures the overall emotion. Like, she's smiling really big, so she's like really excited. She's like, oh, I have a dandelion in my hair. And yeah, I think I think it's really good storytelling photo. I think if anyone looked at this photo, they kind of see, oh wow, beautiful little girl, just got a dandelion in her hair. She looks super happy, and yeah, I just think it's a really good photo. So, all right, so this next picture was a picture I took when I was in Saskatoon earlier this year, in June. I went out and was just taking a bunch of pictures of just churches and landscapes and stuff. We came across this church in kind of the backcountry of Saskatchewan. and I just kind of stopped and was like, that's a really nice church, and I just really wanted to capture it, and I captured it, and I just kind of like the story that tells. It kind of has that, like, that I know people are gonna hate on me for this, but it has that moody, kind of ghostly feel to it. Like that kind of dead vibe to it, if you know what I mean. I don't know, it just to me, it has that like dead vibe to me, and it looks very just old and like, yeah, I don't know, it just has that vibe, if you know what I mean. Kind of, don't really know how to explain how I feel about this photo, but yeah, it's kind of the story of like a church and whatnot. But yeah, so that's kind of an odd one. I don't think I mean to click that. But yeah. All right. This next photo. This next photo I took a long time ago, like 2013 or something like that. Maybe even later than that. I honestly, I don't know when I took this. It was probably like 13 or 14, something like that. My aunt had a timeshare in Vancouver, on Vancouver Island, and we used to go there all the time. And there's a nice beach, and people would sit there all the time. And I have so many pictures of the beach. Somewhere I have them. But I have so many pictures of just the beach and people on the beach and like our family. And I've always kind of been into photography and kind of always had that like photogenic eye. Like I would just grab my dad's camera and go and take pictures and kind of like take pictures of random stuff, because I didn't really know what photography was. I was just kind of like, I just want to take pictures. And I just took pictures. And this guy, it was just getting sunset, just getting to be sunset, and this guy, this professor, was sitting on this log, and I didn't know he was a professor at the time, but he was sitting on this log just reading a book, I think, reading a book or a magazine or something, and he was just sitting there, and I took this photo, and like it was a nice sunset and all that. This is not my best editing work that I've done, by the way, just so you know. I was very obsessed with sunsets for a long time, and I used to just crank everything out of them and just leave the sunset because I thought it was a super cool look. Don't know why. But I ended up talking to this guy after that, and I was like, hey man, like I took your picture and whatever, showed him the picture. I think this is how this all went. It's been a while since I talked about this story. But yeah, I talked to him, he gave me his email, I emailed him this picture, and he gave me a huge email back saying like, I'm a professor, blah, blah, blah. I can't remember the whole email because it's been super long time, but it was a great thing that happened to me, because that was kind of my first real taste of like someone else other than my family members looked at my photography and was like, you're good, kind of thing. And it was one of those really enlightening moments for me, and I just really like this photo and the story it tells, because you can't actually see the magazine or book or whatever because of my dumb editing skills. And but yeah, I kind of like the story it tells of just sunset reading kind of thing. And yeah, so moving on. This next picture, it's of my great grandpa. Last summer, my brother and sister and I went on a kind of spontaneous little adventure to Saskatoon to go and see my uncle and help my uncle out there. And a lot of my mom's family lives out there, and my great grandpa lived in a home there. And so we thought we should go and visit him, because we don't know how much longer he's got. And And so we went and visited him, and I brought my camera with me, and I don't know, I had this feeling that it was gonna be our last trip, and it was. He passed away in I think October. Yeah, no, October or something like that, I believe. November or something like that. Can't remember. But anyways, I just had that feeling, like, you know, when you have that feeling of an older person, when you just feel like, you know, I never know when it's gonna be my last time, that kind of thing. I just had that feeling in my head that it was gonna be that time, and it was. And these are probably some of my favorite pictures that I've ever taken of people, and not because I don't think any of my other pictures are good. These just have a lot of sentimental value to them, and they just, yeah, I just love them. Yeah, I took these pictures. It's kind of funny. I got him. He was in one of those like wheelchair things. I don't know what they're called. They're not a wheelchair, but it's like a wheelchair kind of thing. But he was in one of those, and I got him kind of placed. And I kept saying smile, but he couldn't hear. So he just kind of did shit. And I was like, oh, well, I'll just take pictures. And a lot of them didn't really turn out, because a lot of them are just kind of him going like, what? And that kind of stuff. But I did capture a couple good photos of him, and this is one of them. And I don't know why it's my favorite, but it is. I love how his hand is, how you see the wrinkles and everything in his hand. I love the depth in his eyes, kind of that like, what are you doing look in his eyes. He's like, what the hell are you doing? Or I'm not ready for this. Yeah, so I love how his hair, he looks like he just got out of bed, which he probably did. His hair's kind of all over the place, and I love this picture, and it's probably one of my favorite pictures. And yeah, it just tells that story of like hi and bye. In my opinion, it kind of tells that story of goodbye, just because it was the last time I saw him. So I'm not gonna cry, don't worry. But yeah, to me, it kind of tells me that story of goodbye, and I think that's why they're my favorite pictures. And yeah, so moving on to the next photo. All right, this next picture is that kayak picture that I was telling you about at the start. And this picture, it's still one of my favorite pictures. Honestly, I'm not really too sure why it's my favorite picture. It just is. I just like the colors of it. I just like it. It's just, I just like it. That's all I got. I like how it kind of tells a story of, well, it kind of tells a couple stories. The first story it tells is like, go play, go be adventurous, go do shit, essentially. And the other kind of story that I don't think a lot of people really capture as well, and if you wanted to put it into this way, you can easily go into this kind of story as well, is that if you look at the mountain and you look at the depth of the water and how much water there is, you could almost say like it's a journey. It's about the journey. It's about getting there and whatnot, because you got to go across the water and through the trees and up into the lighter part of like the bush tree area thing, and you got to climb this mountain, and to get to the top of the mountain it's pretty high up there. Like it's in the clouds. Like the clouds are covering it, and it kind of, I don't know, it just kind of gives that journey story to it, I guess. At least to me it does. and I like that about it. So, all right, this last photo is of my buddy Todd and his girlfriend, and a lot of people have been obsessing over these photos. Well, obsessed over them when I posted them, because they're probably some of my best work I've done up until now. But they're a picture of my buddy and his girlfriend, and I went to Stettler, Alberta to take these photos, and I didn't really have anything in mind for the photo shoot at all. I had no poses, no I want this shot, I want that shot. They didn't really have any of that. It's kind of a wing it kind of thing, and I just told them kind of to be lovey, like they love each other, and they just kind of did their own thing, and I just kind of snapped pictures, and there's a lot of people looking at us for this one, especially because it was kind of on the lake, but I think that it just really captures that true emotion of love, that just I love you, you love me, hold me close, that kind of vibe, and I really think that that's a strong, I think this picture really puts a strong point on that, and I think I did a really good job with it. So pictures like this are all pictures that you guys can capture and you guys can do. You can really do it with anything, it doesn't really matter. But it just goes to show you that it doesn't really matter what is in the photograph or what the photograph is. It just matters if you kind of are telling a story behind that photo, because if you're telling a story, people will be more engaged and more like, oh, I feel something with that, and they'll feel a connection between the picture and them, or a connection between you and the picture and you and them, or that kind of that triangle, the picture, you, them, kind of makes that triangle. And I think it's just a really strong connection and a good connection to have when you're taking photographs, and something to think about all the time, because it's just a good thing to keep on your mind. And when you're capturing something, or especially someone, you want to keep that in mind, because later on you can tell that story about how you went on a cruise and you shot them over the, I don't know, from the top deck to the bottom deck, and they were looking out or something like that. I don't know. But you can kind of tell a story around how you captured it, and they can tell their own story of, yeah, this photographer made me do this. And I really felt that connection between myself and the photographer, or just myself and the world, or whatever. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like rating, make sure to subscribe if you're not already, and go capture stories, because that's what we're here for. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Bye.